Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. And today we are going to make a card using two of the days from the 13 Days of Craftoween from Spellbinders. I've already done all my die cutting and I'm going to do some ink blending on these. But I did days, I believe they're 3 and 8. And we're going to make it look like a little poison cup that somebody's drinking. For the skull, I cut out everything except for the straw, the marshmallows, and the little bat. For this, I cut out everything. I'm not sure if I'm going to use everything yet or not, but we'll see. And I'm going to be ink blending them in pinks using Sweets and Taffy from Simon's Positively Saturated line. And we're going to create like a little scene with that, and then we'll use the stamp set that goes with it, and then the cheers to the spooky sips. So stay tuned for that, and I will start doing my voiceover. Hey guys, so voiceover Liz here. Originally I was just going to use the cup die set, and then I was like, oh, you know, the poison bottle would actually be perfect for this because we could match the bottle to the liquid that's inside the cup, which is what I did. I actually ended up only using the Sweets ink for all of the ink blending. I used the darker pink, the taffy, just to stamp the sentiment because I did it directly on the gray background that I end up doing, and it was just would show up a little bit better on there. I also used it to stamp my logo on the back that says like handmade by Liz on it. I've been doing that recently where I kind of coordinate the color of the stamp on the back to the colors I use on the front. Sometimes, not all the time. Most of the time I just use Simon's slate ink for that, just because I find black's a little bit too stark and I like to keep it just a little bit lighter. It is still like a darker gray, but it's still less than the black. So that's usually what I do for that. But again, this time I did it in the pink, which was kind of fun. Also, apologies for this camera. I'm still having difficulties with it. I'm trying to figure out better ways to film. I don't know why it's getting, maybe it's been doing updates or something, but I will try to fix that. I tried filming through my editing program, actually. I didn't know that that was available because I don't really have time to sit and like, you know, play around with these programs, but I thought I would look into it, and it does record. I don't like the way it records though, because it doesn't show me like frame by frame what's going on, and then my computer screen like still times out after like 15 minutes, so I don't even know if it's still filming. So thankfully it did film the entire process, but it didn't look like it was doing it, and that stresses me out because I don't want to do an entire card that I want to show you guys and it doesn't show up. So I might just go back to my old program and see if I can play around with the settings on that instead. But anyway, I'm gonna go back to the card now. So for the skull, again, I ink blended the liquid, and I kind of did the eyes and the nose too, because I was kind of thinking these would be like see-through portions on a mug. I don't know if that has ever been done before, but I think it would be really cool to have like a ceramic mug where there's like glass inserts or something like that where it's partially see-through. I don't know. I'm not an expert on pottery and stuff and glass blowing. I do love to watch those types of things. If you've ever watched Blown Away on Netflix, it's a series of glass blowing competitions, kind of like Project Runway but for glass blowing, and it's really cool. They do a lot of amazing things, and if I didn't hate being hot, I might give it a try someday. I don't know. It looks like fun, but it also looks like it would be extremely stressful, and I'm a klutz, so I probably break something, so it's probably not a good idea. But anyway, so that was my thought process behind that. And then for the poison bottle, I had cut out a white panel to go behind for the word poison, but I kind of liked it with a pink backing a little bit more. It's kind of like a cutout sticker that was put on the bottle where you can see like the word through. And then I'm going to add the skull and crossbone to it. I did ink blend a little bit around the edges of the mug and the skull and crossbone, just with whatever residual ink was left on there, just to give it a little bit more depth and dimension, just so that everything wasn't just so stark white. and I left the ghost by itself because that's kind of like the steam coming out of the mug, or death. That is death coming out of the mug. You know how in like movies, like cartoon movies, you usually see like if it's poisonous, there's like a little puff of like a butterfly or like a poisonous like ghost or something coming out of the mug. So that was my thought process behind that as well. And then here I'm just trying to figure out the layout. I wish I had done it up a little bit higher like this. I ended up doing it a little bit lower on the card, which is fine. It's just like everything is very bottom heavy on this card. So in order to compensate for that, I kind of add iridescent bubbles to the background, which you'll see here in a bit. But I also did a lot of layering. So like the bottle itself is glued to the card mat, and then the mug itself is propped up on that 1mm foam tape from scrapbook.com. And then the zip little tombstone, I was gonna do it kind of like as a tea bag kind of thing, off to the side, and I didn't add any string or anything because I didn't want it to look bad. If I was gonna do this card again, I would probably add the string before I added the liquid to the mug, just so that it was kind of like tucked into it, and it might be fun to do that way. But I did that on a thicker foam tape from the dollar store, and same with like the little ghost Smokey. I did him on the thicker tape as well, but then I glued his little tail down directly to the card, so it's almost like it's a little bit more dimensional, like he's popping out a little bit. And just because I didn't want to try to cut little tiny pieces for his tail there at the end. These dies are super cute. I absolutely love these. Again, like this would be great for like a spooky Valentine's Day card or something, which I will probably do at Valentine's. I'll this one and the ghost with the pizza, because I think that would be cute, because it says I want to pizza you, which is hilarious. I love it. And yeah, so this is just like assembling the card. Again, I wish I had put this up a little bit more. Again, also sorry for the focus on the camera. It decided to focus on my hands for some reason instead of the project. So it is a little bit fuzzy, but I did try to sharpen it a little bit. And then I'm just trying to find where I'm going to put this sentiment. It actually kind of nestles perfectly into this area here above the ghost. There's like a bit of like a scoop out of the spooky, and then it just sits very nicely there up against the bottle as well. I was going to try to put it somewhere else, but it just didn't really fit anywhere else, and it looked kind of out of place if I tried putting it somewhere other than where I did put it. So I'm glad I put it there. And again, like I did it in the darker pink so it would show up, because I did stamp this directly. I was thinking about heat embossing and cutting it out, or stamping it and cutting it out after, but I think it looks good the way it is. And here I am just adding those iridescent bubbles just to make it look a little bit more whimsical, kind of like there's like poisonous bubbles coming out of it, because it is like that iridescent like oily look to it, like the soapy bubbles. So yeah, so we did that. So that is pretty much our card for today, guys. I will be back again next Friday for one more Halloween card on Halloween, so stay tuned for that. But I will also be back tomorrow for my hashtag holiday card hijinks video, where we will do a fun gingerbread background and play around with some more die cuts, which is probably what we'll be doing for the rest of the month anyway. Next week's video is going to be super fun, and I'm super excited to make that card as well. But yeah. So thanks again for joining me for today, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, because I'd love to have you here. And until next time, thanks guys. Bye.